Good morning and welcome everyone to the Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching the opening bell and I'm your host Nickey Mirchandani. Well, Indian equity markets are likely to start on a positive note, tailing global handover this morning. GIFT Nifty suggests a 45 points uptick for the last street. Let's talk about US markets. They've ended higher on Monday following last week's losses. Essentially, Federal Reserve official comments bolstered view that US central bank may be actually nearing the end of its tightening cycle. Let's talk about Asian markets. It's almost in green amidst gains on Wall Street. FIIs talk about the trend, bought shares to an extent of around 588 crore. DIIs, they've purchased shares to an extent of 288 crore. Both of them have been buyers. FNOQs up on the screen. 38 stocks seen long build-up, and this includes the like of Escorts, Dr. Lal Pathlabs, SAIL, Punjab National Bank, and M&M Financial Services. Let's also talk about the ones that have seen long unwinding, and this includes the like of Granules India, India Cements, Intellect Design Arena, HDFC, and Tata Motors. 79 of them have seen short build-ups, and this includes the like of Aarti Industry, Dalmia Bharat, Atul, Loyals Lab, and Jubilant Foodworks. 20 of them have seen short covering activities. Well, this includes the like of Marico, REC, Piramal Enterprises, Infosys, and Max Financial Services. Let's also talk about the stocks which are currently under F&O ban. This includes the like of India Bull Housing Finance, Punjab National Bank, and Zee Entertainment, which has made it to the F&O ban list for July 11. Also, what has been retained: Granules India, India Cement, BHEL, and Delta Corp. These are some of the names out there. It's a long list today. Let us get going, discuss some stocks and strategies today with Sneha Seth, Derivatives Research Analyst, Angel One. Good morning there.
Very good morning.
Right, I'm going to start off by checking with you the trade setup, the PCR ratios, and what do you suggest the strategy should be for the viewers out there, and the levels at which you think the Nifty will be trending next.
If you see, market has been actually trading in a range for now. We are not expecting a major move in the index specifically. In Nifty, I believe on the lower side, 19,200 should be acting as a support, and on the higher side, 19,500 should be acting as a resistance. So this is the range for the index. In case of banking index, I believe 44, 400, 500, that is the support zone, and 45 followed by 45, 200, that is the immediate resistance. So this is the range for the key indices. I believe one should prefer trading into individual counters for now. There we are seeing a smart move, and in fact the risk reward ratio are also quite good there. So one can focus on individual counters, and if we talk about sector wise, I believe metals are doing quite good. Yesterday we saw metal index was up nearly 1.7%, which and we have seen decent counters, many counters, they were trading into consolidation, and we are seeing some fresh buying in those space. So one can focus in that segment as at present.
Okay, so I also wanted to check with you, what is going to be the strategy for our viewers? Would that be stay away on the sidelines, buy on dips? What do you think? Call, put? What's the strategy and the direction that you're going to suggest this morning?
See, if you see the data, I would say that there is nothing negative. There is no sign of caution for now. FIs have been buying in equities. FIs have been adding longs in index futures. The long short ratio is also around 72%. So I believe any declines, any dips in the market should be bought into. At present, at current levels, we won't suggest buying. But in case of any declines toward the support, which I mentioned, there we can add fresh longs.
Fresh longs, and wouldn't suggest. Okay. All right, let's talk about Bank Nifty and the outperformance thus far that the Nifty index has seen. Your strategy on that, immediate support and resistance level along with those.
For Bank Nifty, I believe it is, again, we are seeing decent move in that. But overall, for now, I believe for a couple of sessions, we may see some consolidation again over here. So 44,400, 500. This zone will be the zone wherein if any declines towards this levels we see, we can go ahead and add fresh longs in that index. Otherwise, for now, better trade into individual counters. They are showing a decent move. So that should be the focus for now.
All right, Sneha, stay on with us. We're just going to quickly address the stocks and news and come back to you. Let's get going with the stocks that need to be on your list this morning. Vedanta, Nazara Technologies, State Bank of India. Vedanta, that's a big one. Foxconn has decided to pull out of joint venture with Anil Agarwal-led Vedanta. Vedanta, however, says that it's fully committed to semiconductor fab project. Now, that's the big one coming in because the joint venture is taken, no, it's not going to be taking off, but the semiconductor business, the potential is huge out there. Also, do bear in mind the fact that India has attempted going for the semiconductor business at least twice or thrice in the past, but it's been a failed attempt. Let's see if this one turns out to be a successful one. SBI, it's going to be offloading 2% equity stake in NSDL IPO via an offer for sale. The bank holds roughly around 5% stake in NSDL. Yesterday it was HDFC Bank which was offloading, and today it is SBI. Nazara Technologies, that's another one for you. Board is approved raising funds to an extent of 750 crore. This will of course be raised through QIP or preferential allotment. Cyient DLM, which had a strong listing in previous session, has found some new buyers. According to the bulk deal, Nippon India Mutual Fund Infra Fund has bought in 5 lakh shares, that is close to 0.7% stake odd in the company at an average price of around 403 per share. That indicates some amount of discount coming in on the current market price, which was roughly around that 425 level that you can see flashing on the screen, and the stock ended the day higher with close to 1% odd there. TCS, let's talk about that. That's the big one in news, and it's also the one which is Moneycontrol exclusive. The company has delayed onboarding of lateral recruits by up to 3 months. That's not a good news, faring well for IT sector, which was barely managed to now some amount of finally some recovery seen, but not exactly to the tune the drubbing has been. That's overall the stocks and news that we have. Of course, we're also going to be talking about Vadilal Industries and the clarification that has come through. But overall, net broad trail, this is what we're looking at. So that's the stocks and news, and that's the coverage that we have. But Sneha, I'm going to come back to you and check with you about stocks like RIL. Sharp up move, you have the demerger, you have the listing, you have the record date. How are you looking at the counter, and what you are going to suggest to the viewers out there?
So Reliance, if you see, this counter has been, giving a strong run. In fact, yesterday, only because of this, we could see Nifty, showing decent strength. It was up nearly 4% yesterday, and we expect a continuation in the up move towards, say, 2,800, 850, 870. So that is the levels one should be watching out in case of if anyone is holding any fresh longs or anyone who has taken a fresh long in yesterday's trade. I would say yesterday's low, that is 2,675. That should be the support level or the stop loss for the one who have taken a trade in yesterday's session.
All right, Sneha, two recommendations for our viewers out there, which also could be profit-making ideas for them.
See, individual counters I'm liking from auto space. If you see Ashok Leyland, this is the counter which I'm looking at. If you see, this counter has given a smart up move and it has been consolidating for quite some time. However, it has approached a support zone of nearly 158, 159 zone. And from there only we are seeing some buying interest coming in. So I would suggest buying Ashok Leyland at current levels or during the market hours with a strict stop loss of 159 and a target of 172. Apart from this, we are also
Sneha, I'm just going to come back to you for the second recommendation in just a bit. Ashok Leyland is your first one. Let's address the market open first. Nifty 50. Well, we are looking at the top. We're seeing some gains coming in right at the open. 0.3% of gains coming in, more than 0.25% coming in for Nifty 50. 19,400 mark, that remains on the screen. And let's talk about Bank Nifty. That's another one for you that you need to keep an eye out on. Of course, there is this huge amount of outperformance which has already come in on the Bank Nifty index thus far. And in today's session, we are looking at 0.25% of gains coming in for that index. Let's also talk about the other sectoral, broader markets that we have at this point. And we have mid-cap index, which is doing well and continues to do well in line with the larger counterpart. Gains to an extent of 0.3% out there. And in terms of the small cap index, that's also the one which is perhaps continuing to outperform the larger counterparts. And let's also talk about other sectoral indices that we have overall in the list. You have Bank Nifty, beg your pardon, Auto Nifty, which is doing well, 0.4% of gain coming in on that one. FMCG seems to be doing well too in trade with gains of around 0.06%. Media is doing well. Metal seems to be shining in bright with gains to an extent of, almost 0.2% out there. Pharma seems to be doing well, and along with that, PSU banks too have been shining bright in trade along with the realty index, which right now is up with gains of around 0.33%. Healthcare index too, almost pretty much in sync. The gains are to an extent of 0.3% out there. However, standing out right now is the media index. Gains to an extent of 0.5% coming in for that one. Oil and gas, well, that's no different. We're looking at gains to an extent of 0.43% on this one. Essentially, media and oil and gas are the sectoral themes to play out. At least they fared well in the opening deals. What is, however, not doing well and has succumbed to some amount of selling pressure is Nifty IT index. That's the one which is probably, but let's just say that it's still, trading with some amount of positive, beg your pardon, it's completely down and out right now with losses to an extent of 0.2% out there, and the losses are just getting sharper. Let's also address in the advance and declines, 41 advance and 9 declines. Market breadth right now is in the favor of advances completely, and IT index is the one which is clobbered out of shape right now. Apollo Hospital, Bajaj Finance, Eicher Motors. These are some of the top gainers that you have on the list. Britannia, Tata Motors and Bajaj Auto are some of the other top gainers that we have on the list right now. Apart from Alta Cement, Cipla and Bajaj Finserv. Essentially, Bajaj Twins have been doing well. And also, let's talk about the top Nifty losers. UPL, Hero MotoCorp and DRL. These are some of the top losers that we have right now, apart from Wipro and TCS. Well, it's not to be blamed. It's going to be a week which is marked by earnings season that's going to be kick-started by TCS and HCL Tech in the session tomorrow. A few of listing are also around. IPOs open for subscription. It's going to be a busy earnings come IPO week. But I'm going to quickly navigate the conversation back to Sneha and check with her assessment on Bajaj Twins and what does she make out of it and the levels that she feels could be attractive here on, and also how could the participants or the viewers right now look at these IT stocks, something like an Infosys, something like an HCL Tech, which are going to be reporting in their numbers. Sneha?
If we see IT pack especially, we have seen consolidation in this particular space. But I believe if someone is already holding any long positions and they're looking, to add counters or make a portfolio, I would say that you can, go ahead and, park your some money in the IT space for now. I believe it is in the consolidation, but very soon we may see an up move from the consolidation mode. And if we talk specifically about Infosys, I believe it is near the hurdle of 89 EMA. But I believe any move beyond, say, on the upside 1357, 1358, those zone, we may see a momentum coming in, which can, bring this in particular, counter towards at least towards 1460, 1450 zone. So that should be the focus. I would say if someone who's looking for investing in a long run, yes, IT space you can think of.
All right. I'd also want to know, how are you looking at Vedanta because of the big news that has come in with the Foxconn pulling out of the JV? Do you see significant amount of, what is the strategy that you think one could look at while seeing Vedanta?
Vedanta is one of my stock pick. If we see this counter has been, consolidating in the range, and I believe today, although we are seeing it opening it a bit lower, but I think there is a strong support around 270 odd zone. So that should be acting as a support. And until and unless, we are seeing this index, this particular counter, trading above those levels, I think the dips should be bought into. And on the upside, 283 to 84 level is the level to watch out. Any move beyond this, we can see a sharp move in this particular counter. So I would suggest buying an option at present. Would suggest 285 call option in the range of 5 to 6. So I believe today we will be getting it at a cheaper rates, so we can go ahead and long at current levels or the current market price with a strict stop loss of 1.8 and a target of 14.
Right, that's the word coming in for Vedanta. Looks attractive on the chart, but right now commodity cycle is not technically supporting most of the metal stocks, but that's more on the fundamental side. Sneha, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to us this morning. It was a great pleasure chatting with you. All right, let's navigate our conversation more towards the fundamental side, where there's so much brewing, right? Earnings season is going to be starting anytime soon. That's almost tomorrow. You have slew of IPOs coming in. You have the FII's data pouring in. And to join us to take the discussion forward is Naveen Kulkarni, the Chief Investment Officer at Axis Securities. Good morning there. All right, Naveen, I'm just going to start.
I can't hear you.
All right. Am I audible right now? Is it good to go?
Still, your voice is not very clear.
All right, we're going to try and connect back with Naveen and check if we are doing well with him. In that case, let's also address a bit of disappointment which has actually crept in for Vedanta. Well, Foxconn has pulled out, and like Sneha was suggesting, at this point of time, the charts look attractive, but there are a couple of concerns brewing in for the company. Promoter holding has decreased over the last quarter. That's one. The company's parent company is struggling with debt and has been looking out for ways to raise funds and get rid of the debt burden that it has on the balance sheet. The promoters have pledged 100% of their holding. That's two. Some of the good things that are right now working in the favor of Vedanta, if you just talk from a very stock perspective, stock is providing a good dividend yield of 36%, and the company has been maintaining a healthy dividend payout of over 150%. But so let's actually go back to Naveen and check if we've just ironed out our audio issues with him and get a perspective of how market has been faring in his perspective. And we've been scaling record high levels coming in for the markets, FII support, but if you look from a very aerial macro view, we're still continuing to outperform global markets. Do you think valuations look attractive at this point of time? What's the strategy?
I'm sorry, again I lost you.
All right, Naveen, am I audible?
I lost you again.
All right, looks like we've really caught him on a patchy note, and it's not exactly the way we wanted. But let's try and connect with him again. And in the meanwhile, just run you through the stocks and news that have been the newsmakers this morning. Like Vedanta, I was talking about it, and there has been some amount of the semiconductor business is not the first time it's entering into India. Last 3 attempts have been marred, although on just 2 reasons out there. Either the fundraising concerns have been too much to play out for, or there have been land approvals which have been pending. So net, we have not really looked a very successful run coming in overall on these stock performance for semiconductor business. But Nazara Technologies is the one which is expected to be in focus today. And, that's the one which is where the board has approved in 750 odd crore. Overall, if you look at the sentiment right now, I'm not really surprised with the kind of momentum that we are looking at. And it needs to be seen how that is faring. Tomorrow is going to be essentially, we're going to be looking at the earnings season kicking in. And we will have IT stocks essentially that you need to keep on your list. Do you remember the fact that it was a dismal quarter coming in for the IT sector overall? In the previous quarter, there was this bleak outlook, and things didn't look really rosy at this point of time with the kind of vulnerability that we're seeing across the globe. And most of these companies are the export-oriented service companies. Much of that was challenged, and the load of which was taken on the financials. But let's actually go back to Naveen and just understand. Okay, so we're clearly, trying to patch those lines around with him. But that's that in terms of the stocks and news we have. With this, it's a wrap. And goodbye from the entire team who puts this piece together. And thank you so much for watching. Please do post your feedback for us in the comment section below. Follow us on the link at the bottom of your screen. And for rest of the update, stay tuned into moneycontrol.com and Moneycontrol app.